What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MIKE DOLCE Show. Today, we have a shocker for you. Recently, Derek from More Plates, More Dates released what is the word I should use? A very damning blood or urine test that showed former UFC two-time world champion Daniel Cormier had a testosterone level nearly 10 times that of a regular human. Yeah. So Daniel Cormier, prior to his fight with Jon Jones, I believe it was UFC 182, actually clocked in with a 7,000 as compared to the average healthy adult male, being somewhere between 600 and 800. Now, some would say, well, maybe DC, he's just such an alpha. No. An alpha would be 1,000. 600 is like an average, super fit, the fittest weekend warrior dad in your neighborhood is walking around at like 600-700. 800, 900 is like a college athlete still in their prime. 1,000 is, now we're talking the TRT levels. Just to put this in perspective, Daniel Cormier clocked in at 7,000. So let's hear what Derek has to say, but there might be a smoking gun in this case. And I'm going to bring you the smoking gun here. First, click the links below, support our sponsors, support the channel. Thank you. Let's hear what Derek has to say about this.
What's up, guys? Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about Daniel Cormier's 7,000 nanogram per deciliter testosterone levels for his fight against Jon Jones, UFC 182. Yes, indeed. Pretty wild claim being made here, and it's coming from leaked test results. So sort of leaked. These have been actually available for years, but no one has really put them to any level of scrutiny because, Jon Jones is the one that everyone had the bullseye on because he actually has popped for shit before. He's popped for aromatase inhibitors, selective estrogen receptor modulators, actual anabolic steroids. So, of course, a guy who has not been, owned in on by USADA and had any sort of inkling of infractions and seemingly clean test results has not really come under the microscope very much because why would he, But going back to this thread here, apparently he had this one test result that looked really fucked up, and it kind of recycled this entire topic and discussion and brought about digging into some of these analytics. So if you want to see a high level overview of the Jon Jones situation, you can check out this video on Rogan.
All right, let me stop it right here. I want to bring you back to the channel. Go to More Plates, More Dates. Derek did a 30-minute video on this. It's worth the time to go through it. I don't want to talk about the pharmacology behind what Derek's saying. He does such a good job in that, and that's outside my pay grade. That's outside my level of expertise. But many people will say, this is impossible. DC's a clean athlete. Well, yeah, DC is a clean athlete. He's never officially failed the drug test. But someone with a 7,000 testosterone rating compared to the average human of 300 to 1,000, 6 to 8 for the average healthy adult male, this is suspicious nonetheless. And you will say, man, how could this happen? Well, I have the smoking gun for you, and I'm going to share it with you in one moment. First, I will hearken back to a podcast I did with bodybuilding drug guru John Romano. This podcast was so explosive. My lawyers told me you cannot release this podcast. And I said, dude, he's on record telling everything. Romano opens the book on drug testing, how to beat drug tests, and specific athletes and organizations he's worked within and worked with that 100% he claims are in on the doping. Like, my lawyer was like, you will get sued. It is not worth it. You will spend tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars defending yourself for producing this. Don't do it. So we didn't do it. And it was a good decision not to, by the way. But anyway, what Romano said in this interview, he's like, listen, there are 300 known performance-enhancing compounds, only 200 of which WADA and USADA actually test for. Romano said people hire, or athletes hire him because A, he knows how to beat the test for many of the 200 compounds that are tested for. He also said he has the list of the other 100 compounds that they don't have drug tests for. He said, that's why people hire me. Boom. My mind was blown. But now we go further when we talk about Daniel Cormier. People say, well, that's not possible. Daniel Cormier is a clean athlete. And I agree. I'm not coming on here right now to accuse Daniel Cormier in any way, shape, or form. But I have had so many of you send me this video, hit me up in DMs on Instagram, message me on TikTok, tag me in these videos to get my opinion. And I will share my opinion here. I do not believe Daniel Cormier is a dirty athlete. Oh, wait a minute. There was the Talgate incident. So wait. I do not believe Daniel Cormier takes performance-enhancing drugs. Being a dirty athlete, well, that's we can debate that based upon Talgate, but I don't think Daniel Cormier takes illegal performance-enhancing drugs. But then I was made aware of this. Now, for those of you looking at the screen right now, you can see this is Daniel Cormier working out with his coach, the great Javier Mendez, owner of American Kickboxing Academy, where Daniel Cormier trains, Khabib Nurmagomedov trains, Cain Velasquez trains, Luke Rockhold trains, and many of the other legends in MMA. And you can see, if you look right here, this is Javier Mendez wearing an Evogen t-shirt. And upon further review, what do we see? Well, this is again Javier Mendez wearing an Evogen t-shirt. Javier wearing an Evogen t-shirt, 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 Evogen t-shirt. Evogen t-shirt. What is Evogen? Well, Evogen is owned by this man right here. This is Hani Rambod. Hani Rambod is the most famous bodybuilding prep coach, the most successful bodybuilding prep coach in the history of bodybuilding. Hani Rambod has produced more Mr. Olympia winners than any other coach in the history of bodybuilding. Kudos to Hani. Dude is at the top of his game. In bodybuilding, but we have to wonder why a bodybuilding prep coach is so closely entwined with a mixed martial arts gym that is governed by the drug testing protocols of USADA. This is Javier Mendez saying thanks to my advisor, nutritionist, coach, and good friend, Hani Rambod, and his great Evogen nutrition supplements. So now this is Javier Mendez, who is personally being coached by bodybuilding prep coach Hani Rambod. This is Hani Rambod. Come and get some knowledge from my coach, as says Javier Mendez. So Hani Rambod holding seminars at American Kickboxing. And this is back in 2018. This is Javier Mendez in an Evogen t-shirt with Hani Rambod and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Hani Rambod in the gym with Javier Mendez and Khabib during training. Javi and Hani again out to dinner. Now, briefly, this is on Hani Rambod's page. This is back in 2007. Great seeing Khabib Nurmagomedov and coach Javi Mendez at AKA San Jose. Good luck on his UFC fight later this month. It looks like he's going to be at his best ever. So I can't wait to watch this battle. Now, because Javier Mendez is a fan of the sport, does that mean there's wrongdoing? No, because Hani Rambod is coaching Javier Mendez, does that mean there's wrongdoing? No, of course not. But when we look at Javier Mendez's other athletes, like Phil Heath, Mr. Olympia Phil Heath, this is what Hani Rambod does. When we look at, who else does he work with? This is another gentleman. I don't know his name, but this is non-drug tested athletes right here. Another shot of Phil Heath. Another shot of this young lady, which is looking much more swole than many of the men in the same weight class. This is Hani again. Huge good luck wishes to Khabib and his coach, minutes away from the UFC 223 title match. Hani Rambod working with Hadi Choopan, perennial Mr. Olympia top 2, top 3 contender. Now, as I share this with you guys, I do not do so in making accusations. I do so in saying, hey, if I wanted to beat a drug test, who would I call? If I wanted to find out how to up my testosterone 10 times the level of an average human being, who would I call? Who knows pharmacology better than anyone else? I would probably go to a bodybuilding prep coach. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I am saying it's awfully interesting. Now, back when I worked in politics a million years ago, there was something that we called the appearance of conflict. So in politics, you can be in a situation, you can be found guilty, you can be punished, not for a conflict of interest, but for engaging in a relationship that offers the appearance of a conflict. See, the appearance of a conflict many times is just as bad as the conflict itself because it raises so many questions. The trust of those involved cannot be fully valued. So the appearance of conflict is certainly here. The appearance of conflict. Does it mean it's a true conflict? No. Does it mean that Daniel Cormier did anything wrong? No. Does it mean that Hani Rambod is offering any information outside of his Evogen supplements? Which, let's be fair, ladies and gentlemen, supplements don't work. Supplements don't work. I don't care who you are. If like creatine monohydrate, a whey protein, maybe some L-citrulline, like if you're taking bodybuilding supplements right now, just know you're wasting your money. Bodybuilders look like bodybuilders because they take massive amounts of pharmaceuticals. Bodybuilders look like bodybuilders because they take massive amounts of drugs, not because they take Evogen supplements. It has nothing to do with the supplements. Hadi Chupin looked exactly like Hadi Chupin when he was not working with Hani Rambod and he was not taking Evogen supplements. Every bodybuilder on the planet has taken supplement A, B, C, D from companies 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing about their physique has ever changed. Bodybuilding supplements, as a nice little industry that it is, are garbage. They don't work. If bodybuilding supplements work, my friends, I would be selling them to you right now. I would have signed any of these multi-six-figure endorsement deals that have been offered to me throughout the year, and I would have been selling them and would be selling them to you right now, but they do not work. Outside of a whey protein isolate, a creatine monohydrate, and a handful of what am I going to sell you, fish oil caps? Honestly, I'm gonna sell you vitamin B complex or an L-citrulline. There's no margin in it. There's no margin. The only reason I have a whey protein isolate, to be fair, to out myself, the only reason I sell a whey protein isolate is because no other company out there would create a 100% organic, grass-fed, cold processed, cross-flow, micro-filtered whey protein isolate. That's the only reason. That's why I created the Dolce Way. And I'm not even telling you to go out and buy it. I just didn't want to consume the off-the-shelf supplements with my standards because I didn't want to consume garbage. High heat pasteurized whey protein that levels most of the cofactors, the high bioavailable cofactors, relatively inert. That was a waste of time. Done. So anyway, point is, this is Hadi Chupin in the background. That has nothing to do with Evogen supplements. That 100% has to do with the, quote, bodybuilding lifestyle, which is a drug lifestyle. And I'm not mad at that. I'm a fan of the sport of bodybuilding. I'm friends with guys like Flex Lewis, former 212 Mr. Olympia ×7. I'm friends with OGs like Chris Cormier, whom I've had on the podcast, Flex Wheeler, the best built man in history. Stan Efferding, the world's strongest professional body. I'm friends with bodybuilders. I used to train with Rich Kaspari back in the day, right? So I'm not mad at anybody here. Don't get it twisted. This is not a hater video. But to keep it real, why? I got to ask why. This is Hadi Chupin on stage. This guy looks like this not because of his nutrition, his chicken, rice, and asparagus diet. Bodybuilders are on macro diets. It's super simple. No disrespect, bodybuilding dieting is simple in programming. It's brutal in the follow through. Much respect for bodybuilders to do what they do. Completely different sport from MMA. Completely different world from MMA. So I would wonder, I would question what a bodybuilding coach has to offer to the world of MMA outside of ancillaries. And we'll say ancillaries. So I want to know what you guys think. And I tried to be as respectful as possible. Again, I don't think DC has done anything wrong. There's no proof that he has outside of the 7,000 nanogram per deciliter test. Derek does a great job. So listen to what Derek has to say about that. And Derek comes up with some situations that say maybe he did cheat and maybe he didn't. So Derek actually breaks it down in a very good way. It was very interesting. I can't speak to that. Again, not my specialty. Derek takes it much deeper than I ever could. But I did want to say, what's Hani doing there? What's Hani doing there? Because if you want to talk about MMA nutrition, you want to talk to, I don't know, maybe a guy like Dr. John Berardi, who worked with George St. Pierre and a few others, or Dr. Andy Galpin, who works with Brian Ortega and a few others. Dr. Mario Capodaglia, who works with Marvin Vittori. Dr. Corey Peacock, who works with Kamaru Usman. Jordan Sullivan, who works with Israel Adesanya. Tyler Minton. Tyler Minton was working with the team at this time, and I found that weird because Tyler Minton, MMA nutritionist, Bachelor of Science in Nutrition, he's on his way to get an RD. Tyler was working with AKA's athletes at that time. That's a little odd. So Tyler was already doing the MMA nutrition for many of the MMA athletes at AKA as Hanny was popping around. And I'll tell you what, and everybody here knows this, it has nothing to do with supplements. Not one supplement, and not just Hanny's Calm. I'm not mad at Evogen or FST or what's Fuad Cell, Hostile, or Mark Lobliner or whomever else. I don't care what supplements you guys sell. I'm not mad at you guys for that. I mean, I kind of disagree with the business practices, many of the lines. But we know that those supplements don't do anything, and anybody can debate me. You can, if anybody thinks that these supplements work, do anything that can be shown positive. Well, let's talk about it outside of the general health supplements, not the bodybuilding supplements. So I would ask, why is Hanny there? And that without Hanny there, I say there is no way in hell a guy like DC, anything ever. Now, it's very possible someone like Hanny is so inside the industry. To John Romano's point, Hanny knows the other 100 compounds that are not tested for. Therefore, DC could have boosted his test level naturally, legally. I'm happy to say that too. So I'm not making any accusation, no aspersions against anyone's character here. But I do find it interesting that you got a guy like Hanny hanging out in an MMA gym. And what USADA says, no USADA associated athlete can have any relationship with anyone who's affiliated with performance-enhancing drugs. Oops. But anyway, what do you guys think? Leave your comments below. Why is Hanny there? Well, what do you think? Maybe it is all of his supplements. What do you think? Did DC maybe that 7,000 nanogram per deciliter? Is that weird? Because if you had your blood work check right now, and I read blood work every single day, I'm seeing most guys are between 400 and 600. But I think Dr. Sean Baker, the carnivore doctor who just broke a world record in the rower, I think he's somewhere around 400 to 500. This means Daniel Cormier is nearly 20 times, 15, 18 times what Dr. Sean Baker is at. Yikes. You want to get your blood work? Click the link below to go to MarekHealth.com/Dolce and let's see where you fall. Get your own comprehensive blood panel done the most cost-efficient way and the easiest way to do that at the highest level. And anyone who does that right now, I will give you a free 15-minute consultation to review this. Simply click the link below, MarekHealth.com/Dolce, bang, 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 get set up for your full blood panel. And once you do, email Gabby, Gabby at thedolcediet.com. Tell Gabby you just got set up through MarekHealth.com. And then when you get your results, you will get on my schedule and I'll give you a free 15-minute review. Let's see what your blood work is. How do you rank against DC? I'd love to see that. I doubt anybody. I doubt anybody who's not on TRT will be above 1,000. I haven't seen it. I have not, in the hundreds and hundreds of blood work that I've reviewed thus far, I have never seen anyone not on TRT to be above 1,000. I've barely ever seen anyone over 800. True story. Anyway, guys, thank you. What do you think? Leave comments below. And until